I guess, fight versus finger versus face in the next couple of years, right?
Finger versus face.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to episode 97 of the Lazy Couch Podcast. We're here to give you all you need to know about technology, the future, and so much more. My name is Kelvin Lee, and it's more than a fridge, it's a family hub.
And my name is Jeff Kim, and it's live gym, but not as we know it.
You know, it's really funny. You know that little tagline, it's more than a fridge, it's a family hub. I saw it about 2 hours ago on the tennis when Samsung had a banner that literally said that.
Right. Well, it's CES coming to life.
I know, but why the fridge? You know what I mean? Like,
it's always been the place where everyone gathers, right? As
yeah.
like in a hub.
Yeah, don't all families congregate, sit around their fridge and worship it?
Let's play some Candy Crush on the fridge.
I just think manufacturers have been trying for a whole generation, from making ice cubes to putting tablets on it. I just don't think it's going to take off.
Well, my no-name fridge, actually, it is a Westinghouse. That's a name. That's an actual name, isn't it?
Yeah.
I did find a new feature on the fridge.
Oh God, what is it?
It's a very simple ice maker, but I didn't think it was working for a long time until someone told me that there's this dial, and you can, once you put the thing in there, the ice kind of falls down.
What do you mean? Is there a hole in the door? On the other side?
I'm sitting right next to the fridge now. I can check if you want. No, I better not take it.
Yeah, and today's episode is about fridges. Today's episode is part 2 of our CES coverage. If you haven't heard part 1, please tune in. That's episode 96. But today, we're going to talk all about your consumer brands. Yeah. From LG to Samsung to Sony and everything else. Last week got a bit technical, where we spoke about Intel and cars.
Exploits,
the
quantum computing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
You had me at quantum. And if there is a good summary for this year's CES, it really is about how LG and Samsung really took over everything. I mean, just reading all the news articles, watching all the summary videos. For me, it was all about LG and Samsung. Did you feel the same?
Yeah, I mean, they usually do, don't they? These big consumer brands, electronic brands. We're not allowed to say that, are we? Consumer electronic brands, but
that's right.
It's the EB. But yeah, no, I think there's fridges, there's TVs. Very thin TVs, but very big TVs as well. And I guess we're going to talk about that shortly.
Yeah. I think I'm going to start off with a really good article from SMH talking about how it's all about the fight for the smart home now. Obviously, it's going to start with the TV, which everyone has one, and that's going to build onto that. So the focus really was on LG and Samsung. The biggest difference, I think, between LG and Samsung is LG is going to work with Amazon and Google around their voice technology. It's also all based around a new AI platform from LG called ThinQ, which the whole thing is called Deep ThinQ AI, which is a great name. Not really. So Amazon's taken a very different approach, whereas Samsung...
I think it's pronounced Deep Think, but instead of the K, it's a Q.
But then why... Oh, yeah. It didn't catch on to me.
Think.
Yeah, so Deep Thinker IA. Yes. Whereas Samsung is going to go big on Bixby as their assistant. I know. Thankfully, their platform is a lot easier to pronounce. It's just SmartThings. In terms of TVs, they all seem the same to me. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And for some reason, everyone wants to go 8K when there is no content, when there's not even enough content for 4K. Which is
Are
ridiculous.
they actually releasing them this year, though? Or are they just prototypes or demos?
I think based on the reception they get from CES, they then can decide. But what I'm also reading is a lot of these TVs don't actually have 8K screens. They're just 4K sort of technology artificially sort of enhanced to look like 8K. Yeah, basically. I don't know, how much 4K content have you seen lately? I just don't understand why the push to keep going and going and going.
I personally don't have a 4K TV, so I mean, most of Netflix is these days 4K, I believe. But
I think all their original stuff is in 4K. Yeah, it's just not mainstream enough for me. In terms of what sort of cool stuff was coming out, let's look at each brand individually. I think first we can cover off LG. They obviously had a massive 88-inch 8K OLED TV. I think they're all about OLED. So for LG, what the biggest standout was that rollable OLED TV. Did you get a chance to see that one?
I've only heard about it.
It's a cool concept. So it rolls sort of like, imagine, your typical roller blind. You turn it around, so it rolls down, not up like a roller curtain. And you can stop it at different points so that the TV can do different things. So you can stop it halfway, and then it becomes a really long computer monitor. If it keeps going, it becoms sort of like a weather panel that stretches across. Yeah,
like a ticker tape kind of
but
thing.
Even if with the entire TV rolled in, there's still a huge box sitting there. So I'm not quite sure. I guess it's more of a showcase of what they can do with displays this day. I don't see this going into production.
Well, because I have been listening to past episodes of our CES coverage, I think it was only 2 years ago when they were previewing or promoting the rollable TV or screen technology, they were like almost like lab coat people, with gloves, and the journalists weren't allowed to touch anything. That was only 2 years ago, so they've
listening to all the different journalists who went there, they had to take the TV off the exhibition floor for some reason, and they made it sort of like a private viewing. So there's obviously issues with it that's not ready for production. So I don't think we'll see it in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, there might be a problem that we may need to solve with TVs that can transform.
First world problems.
Yeah, in the future. Why watch Netflix in normal? 9 by what is it?
Yeah, the ratios are all thrown off. I think everything is now up for grabs.
I want to watch an Instagram TV. Yeah.
And what else did LG sort of put out? They also had their new wireless speaker with Google Assistant. So it's just like how Lenovo is launching their smart screen. LG's done exactly the same thing. So there is talk about these devices taking over. So Google Assistant is now not just a voice sort of interaction model. It's now a sort of screen assistant as well, which is quite interesting. There's also 4K projectors, really light laptops, smart speakers, you name it, LG's on it.
I mean, you've sort of gone through these companies in more detail than I have, but I've always wondered, like, who's gonna do the mirror screen technology, like in the bathroom? Like in all the future movies or future scenarios that we see, there's like you're in the bathroom and you're getting up in the morning and you check your weather and your tweets and your email and your calendar items, on the mirror.
It's really
who's
funny.
Doing that? I want to know who's doing that.
But I think I know, but I think this is
seems like a no-brainer.
Google Assistant smart screens are sort of an inch towards that sort of future. It's really quite funny. There was a guy on Reddit. I remember a couple of years ago. He sort of built it himself. So he built I think it was a Linux system into his mirror, and it works great. So if the people want, they will make it. So that's really interesting.
And it's probably low powered as well. You don't need a heap of energy because you just need like information. Surely you don't need like.
What do you think of these smart screens? So, would you put one at home?
Right now, I probably wouldn't put it in the bathroom because my bathroom has been hijacked by a cat. But no, I think in theory, like like all the fridge technology that you've spoken about. I mean, they've got massive screens now. You can do all sorts of stuff on there, like with the family. But yeah, just it's not something where I would like stand in front of.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of the use case. So I'm guessing when you put these smart screens in on the coffee table, and it shows the time. You can show YouTube videos. You can tell it to play stuff. So yeah, it's like a Google Home, but with a screen. So that's one angle. Let's move on to Samsung to see what they've done. I think the biggest sort of thing they've done is that modular TV. It's a 146-inch TV. So I've got a 40-inch TV. That's like 3.5 of my TVs on a wall. The reason why it's modular is because it's made up of individual TVs. So it's called micro LED
Okay.
screen, and then you just hook them up together, and it forms one large screen, which is
Yes. I noticed one behind the bar at a pub just earlier tonight.
yeah.
Probably not this
Yeah,
same
so it makes
technology, but
sense. If you're
yes, I
going to
get the
build a
concept. Yeah.
146-inch TV, you got to find a way to break it down to smaller pieces that you can transport. Because this is going to need a truck. Um, so the other disappointing thing is obviously no S9 that's going to come at the Mobile World Congress on Feb 26, and we'll be covering that. No,
Did they
so
actually
no
announce that,
S9,
or
but they did say everyone
Oh,
is sort of they know that Samsung's going to be big at the MWC.
okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so it's very similar to LG. They have speakers, they have notebooks, they've got computer monitors.
I guess fight versus finger versus face in the next couple of years, right?
Finger versus face.
Yeah.
Yes. They've also got some things for sort of education where there is a flipboard that's digital. Yeah, so just, like a whiteboard, but it's
Flipboard.
digital and you can draw on it. But you can flip it
Okay.
like a
Oh,
whiteboard.
okay.
Yeah.
Great. Also, they bought a company called Smart Things some years ago, and they're heavily integrating
That's
that
right.
into everything that they build. Now, like, because Samsung being Samsung, Smart Things was meant to be like kind of known for its openness, and their aim was to be universal in terms of like the IoT protocol, right? But I think
Yeah.
this is kind of going away from that. I think like LG, companies like LG are sort of using the existing framework like Google and Alexa. But
Yeah, I mean, if you look how
Samsung,
hard
there
they're
you go.
pushing in Bixby, even though everyone universally thinks it's bad, I can definitely see them trying to form their own sort of, little ecosystem there. They do brag about how 90% of all their hardware is now connected to some sort of IoT framework, and they're pushing for everything to be 100% in the next couple of years. So that.
Everything will be voice activated. It's crazy. Like, I think, like we had a bit of a discussion earlier this year, or maybe it was late last year. Who is actually winning the IoT race? Like, you have to think Samsung for now, just
Yeah,
because
that
they've got all these
definitely,
chips
definitely.
everywhere.
So a bit of a side note, there is talk of the Samsung S9 having a fingerprint scanner behind the OLED screen, rather than at the back of the device, so just sitting under the screen. Synaptics, which is a company that produces that, is sort of showed that at CES, and there was actually a working phone from Vivo that showed it, and it was
That's right.
noticeably slower than everything else.
Yes, it's got to be, but I
Yeah.
think that will improve as well. That there's going to be this big, I guess, fight versus finger versus face
Finger versus face.
in the next couple of years, right? Yeah.
Hang on, it was 15,
title.
15, 17.
We don't have to show.
Finger versus the face. So, enough about the Korean companies. What about the old guy around the block, Sony? Creepy.
Japanese guy.
So creepy. Sony. I think I really want to include Sony because I still have a soft spot for Sony. I think you know what I mean. I wanna follow them more a little bit. I think everyone's giving up with them. You know what I mean. There's nothing really interesting besides the PS4 that's coming out of Sony. Their phones aren't doing great. So they made a good.
They
Spider-Man.
made a good Spider-Man last year.
So let's see what they've got. They have obviously the robot Aibo. It's back. It's smarter. It's a dog.
Ooh.
Problem is, would you get one for 2,500 AU? Yeah.
For AU, not in the market for a dog right now. It might freak out the cat, but you know what? I think this is good. I think it sort of gets laughed at a little bit. The Aibo, and maybe it's the brand sort of thing, but it actually, like, I mean, just from the videos that I've seen, obviously I wasn't there to check it out. But it's going to be available in Japan like this year, and the technology behind it.
It's got more
quite
AI
staggering,
than
I think.
anything else, more sensors. It's a technology sort of showcase of Sony's engineering. I'm guessing rather more than it being an actual successful product, which makes me question why do it at all.
Are you saying this after watching that Black Mirror
yes,
episode?
Sony's going to
or,
kill us all. Um, yeah.
I thought it was
Hey,
Boston
you never
Dynamics, but it
know.
could be Sony
Ivo
now. Come
coming
to think
after
of
you.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
One
Sorry.
of the episodes of Black Mirror has a robot that kills you. I don't think that's much of a spoiler. So it's also got your typical announcements around. They have 3 new phones, the Xperia phones, but we won't, sort of go on too much about that. Sony also has their TVs, but unlike Samsung or LG, there's nothing sort of standing out from either being from an AI/voice perspective, or even a crazy sort of modular TV, a TV that rolls up. So quite disappointing.
They do have a 30,000 table that also projects.
Yes.
4K.
So let's have a chat about that.
Video.
So the biggest problem with projectors is you have to put it on your coffee table. Problem solved. You can now put it sort of where your entertainment unit is, where you put all your Xbox machines, your Blu-ray. Yeah, it's a TV
actually
stand.
the TV stand.
That's right,
isn't it?
It's more
there you go. Without the
for
TV.
30 grand.
Yeah, with a floating
So
screen.
that's the thing
above
I
the
don't
TV
understand.
stand.
If it's a TV stand, get a TV.
Looks gorgeous though. Like it looks like German designed, like one of those the things that Johnny Ive is obsessed about.
I'm guessing the only plus point, and you've got to really sort of try really hard. When the TV is off, there is no TV hanging on the wall. That's all I can think of.
Yep. Well, if it's low energy, maybe like it could display like a slideshow.
If you don't have a big window to put your 120-inch TV through, and it can't fit through the door, then maybe get this projector.
Yeah, well, I mean, 30,000, right? Okay, think about the technology or the pricing of high-end TVs from, say, even 15 years ago. I think we're talking about 20 grand for like the really high-end, right? And now you can get them for like maybe 300. So eventually, it'll come down. But whether this is gonna be useful, I don't know. Like even 15 years from now, you probably won't need a screen or a projection thing, because everything will be on your contact lens, right? So,
once again, I think it's really just a showcase piece. You know what I mean? So I'll put this huge 120-inch projector up against the roller TV versus the modular TV. But there's a lot of TVs. I think this year is the next 12 months is going to be the time to buy a new TV if you're looking for one. Only because they're running out of ideas, meaning that a lot of the technology has matured, like HDR, like 4K, power consumption, no bezels. You know what I mean? I think it's just at this moment we've hit this point where there's really nothing more we can do with TVs.
What is the cycle for TVs these days? You think 5 years? I mean, I got mine over 3 years ago now.
Mine's even older. Mine's
going
5-6 years now. The Sony that I have, and
okay. But I think that the point is that these companies are banking on the fact that because things are getting cheaper, it'll be almost like getting a phone, right? Like you just need to recycle your TV because things are getting bigger, and to think about that. But I think
that's
5
crazy.
years is what they're targeting.
Every time you change your phone, you change your TV. That's scary in itself.
What do you do with an old TV these days?
Put it in the bathroom.
I don't even know.
So those are all the big players. I thought we spent a bit of time talking about the not so popular players, but things you might actually use. For me, the real standout in this category is Razer. Razer is a gaming company that make really high quality sort of accessories and computers, and now phones even. The big thing for Razer was obviously their phone, which can now plug into a shell that makes it into a laptop. So just imagine if you look at your typical laptop where the trackpad is, that's where you sort of put in your phone, and it sits flush into the device, and it becomes either a secondary screen or the mouse. It's your typical laptop, nothing much to talk about there. It's got its own battery, it's got an RGB keyboard with flashy colors and stuff. Great concept though, I think.
Yeah, we've seen, things like this in the past with I can't remember the project names, of course, but with those docks. I guess it's similar to that. It's a laptop dock but the dock is a laptop itself.
Mm-hmm.
But it's running Android. It's Android looks great on desktop
See,
as well.
this is
I
one
think
I
it's a great
don't think
idea.
will come into full production, only because the Razer phone has been out for half a year now, and that's pretty much an entire lifetime in the mobile space. So I'm guessing this project is called Project Linda. It will probably come out with the Nix Razer phone, and this is very much a proof of concept. But it looks amazing. I think Razer laptops have always been done so well. So I fully expect them to do really well.
Yeah.
The other cool thing from Razer that really stood out was a wireless mouse with no batteries. So the way they do this is similar to Qi charging. The mouse pad charges the mouse, powers the mouse. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, you never have to charge your
why
mouse
not?
again.
Yeah. Love the project name
Mamba.
as well. Razer Mamba. Mamba plus 5 flux
And Mamba's the
hyperflux.
mouse, and I think that Hyperflux is the mouse pad, even though it sounds like some sort of medicine.
And because the mouse pad is powered, it's got the rainbow colored lighting around the side.
RGB
as well,
is
cool.
everything in the gaming universe right now. So RGB lighting is crazy, and that's a good segue into their partnership with Philips Hue.
Oh,
so they, So what the gamers like to do with their computers these days is they make the inside of their desktops sort of light up, and they've got clear panels so you can make things light up and stuff. What if your entire room could light up as you play games? I just hope you don't have epilepsy. So everything can be controlled via a computer. So your keyboard will have RGB lights, your room will have RGB lights, your desktop's going to have RGB lights, and it all goes. It's all synced with the game, with your mood, with anything you set it up to be. So that's quite interesting. But I just think this only really appeals to the gamers who have RGB everything else.
Okay, are you part of that market?
Definitely no. But I can see the appeal. You know what I mean? If you're, in the basement gaming all day. The other big sort of gaming company is Nvidia, which I know you watched the entire keynote of. But rather than go into the details, the one thing I did like about NVIDIA was NVIDIA Go. So at the moment, if you have a Mac computer, you can actually play PC games on it streamed.
Whoa. Okay.
So NVIDIA now wants to extend this to the PC. So what happens is, if you have a computer that isn't, up to date in terms of hardware, you can actually sort of just use it as a thin client, and sort of, if your internet connection's fast enough, just stream the game off some other PC off the cloud. So I think that's a great sort of technology.
Yeah, we're getting to that period in time, I suppose, where because things are advancing so quickly, like things like this may happen. I mean, why rely on the hardware? Just stream it from the cloud.
There was a WTF moment from NVIDIA, though. Did you see the NVIDIA Freestyle?
NVIDIA Freestyle. Just remind me what that is.
The filter for PC games.
Oh,
so just how Instagram filters work. So just imagine, you and I were playing Civ, and for some reason I feel like everything should be black and white.
Okay.
I activate NVIDIA Freestyle, and I can do that now.
There you go.
One of the most pointless things ever.
Well, while we're on NVIDIA, because I think, and I'm going to hold off for potentially another episode where we might talk about that later, because I think what they showcased this year at CES, especially that keynote from my new favorite CEO, Jensen Huang, who's very much... I think he's the new Steve Jobs. It was very, very interesting. Like lots of big stuff happening with AI and autonomous driving, and he's talking about level 5 autonomous driving by next year. Level 5, which means like totally autonomous, right?
Yeah,
no steering wheels at all.
You can sleep in the car and things like that.
Yeah.
No, I think I totally agree with you. I think a lot of people don't know the impact that NVIDIA has on the things you currently own.
Yeah.
There's a 50-60% chance that the computer you're looking at is powered by NVIDIA, but to power video cards, the technology that goes into it is just as complex as CPUs.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely worth maybe in the next episode going through what
Yeah.
your favorite new CEO has to say.
Yes. What's next?
On to Oculus. So Oculus came out with a couple of headsets, but they truly believe now that mobile sort of VR is going to be the future of VR. We obviously covered Oculus in 2 episodes in quite some depth, so don't forget to watch that. But they finally announced who's going to be making the Oculus Go, which is the mobile Oculus headset, and it's going to be Xiaomi. So this will be powered by Snapdragon 821, which is quite recent. So the most recent Snapdragon chip is the 825. So it's still going to be very powerful. And yeah, I think now that they have Xiaomi, which is obviously a targeted approach to go hard on China.
Yes.
It's going to work out for them, I think.
Yeah, and now it's all making sense with Hugo Barra, isn't it? Hugo Barra is the new head of VR at Facebook. So he's pretty much heading up Oculus. So and he's spent a few years in Xiaomi in China. So there you go. This is all coming together.
It's going to make things. So I think the most confusing thing is The Verge had a great article. Is Oculus now has 4 headsets. When you think about it, how's it all going to tie in together? So it's going to be really interesting. I think as we go through HTC, which is the next one. I think Oculus is slowly moving away from the gaming aspect of it and more towards the social aspect of it. But it's all up in the air.
What's the 4th one actually? I can think of
Let's
3.
have a quick look.
Because they're working on Santa Cruz, which is their premium Oculus Rift type of thing, but that's wireless. So that'll be the 3rd.
They're talking. They also mentioned the Samsung Gear VR.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Which is the 4th.
Okay.
Which they're working with Samsung on.
Yeah.
Which is similar to Oculus Go. I'm guessing they'll put them in the same class.
Yeah, it's just the same thing without the actual phone.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So you can't talk about Oculus without talking about HTC. So at CES, HTC launched the Vive Pro, which is a high resolution sort of headset. It's pretty good now. It's 2880 by 1600, which is almost sort of 4K, just a little bit above 2K. It's a 78% increase from their current Vive.
Yeah.
So we have friends who have the Oculus, and their biggest complaint is that the resolution isn't good enough. So here you go.
Yeah.
The other thing they also announced was you can now include an add-on to make it wireless. So it also comes with a 3000 milliamp battery.
Yeah, well, in this case, those adapters have existed in the past, but this is a HTC produced wireless adapter. It also comes integrated with headphones.
Yes, just like the Oculus.
Yeah, but I think they're slightly better quality, and also comfortable. Apparently, I've seen a video of how they sort of adjust the back, and it's sort of this dial that you sort of spin around to tighten it, and I think that's probably it feels a bit better than the Velcro of the Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm really curious to see if it fits well with glasses. I know it's a really weird sort of requirement, but as much as the Oculus claims you can wear it over glasses, I've never been able to make it work.
Really?
So I think with a dial of sorts, you can really fine tune the fit, sort of like a bicycle helmet, right? So I'm looking forward to just having a look and seeing whether that is different to the Oculus. Here's where it gets strange now. There was a company called the Zenoma, and they released a e-skin shirt controller. So you wear this tight Lycra-esque Spider-Man style shirt. It's got 14 senses, and you hook it up and you can use it as a controller.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture now. It does look like a Spider-Man suit.
Yeah,
maybe more like a Venom Spider-Man.
That's right. So I've seen the demo where you put on these AR glasses, you put on this suit, and you can start being Super Mario basically in the real world.
I think you're meant to move your arms like you're running, but
That's
not
right.
too much. You sort of have to just have a certain cadence.
That's right.
Yeah, and they've created their own game just for demo purposes. But I guess would this work in VR, for example? Imagine
it probably can. I don't see why not. But I'm trying to think of the kind of games, right?
Yeah, but the problem of locomotion in VR, right? Will you feel like you're moving if you're moving your arms? I don't know.
Good point. interesting nonetheless. You got to plonk down $5,000 though for a developer kit.
Yeah.
But they're on Kickstarter. You can buy the shirt for as little as $4.99 US.
Great.
Yeah.
I think this is a good first attempt. I think this will be the norm soon enough. I was just thinking, like, with all these we talk about wearables as in watches and rings and things like that. I think eventually it'll be like actual shirts. So stay with me here. I think eventually not only you'll be charging your phones and your watches, you'll be charging your clothes soon
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
Why not? There were so many odd things in CES, but they had one common problem, and that's charging everything.
Yeah, and they had a blackout.
Yeah, and they had a blackout. So
Yeah.
that's another sort of, eye opener into how all this just doesn't work if battery technology doesn't catch up.
Yeah.
So I've got two more on my list, so bear with me. Asus had a really cool thing.
Ooh,
So
I
you
like
know how when
this.
you know how when you have two screens and it's got bezels, and when you put them together, they don't really seem connected. It really,
There's like a
I don't
gap
know.
in the middle. Yeah.
There's a gap in the middle. They created a refractor that you put in between the screens, and somehow it lets the light bleed over, and it looks like one big screen.
Yeah.
So I think it works better for three screens because
Mm.
you can't look at the refractor
Oh,
in
because
the
they're at an
middle.
angle. Yeah.
That's right. So it works well for three screens, I think.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? A cool sort of little piece of tech that hopefully is affordable and solves some aesthetic problems.
Yeah.
That's
Cheaper
fine
than a
by me.
rollable LG TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The last one I kind of want.
Yeah.
It's the Nerf AR gun.
Awesome.
I don't know why no one's ever thought about this. So basically, it's a Nerf gun. You put your phone on top of it. You look through your phone like it's a sort of a viewfinder.
Okay.
And you can shoot your friends.
Like AR style.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
amazing.
Mm.
So I'm trying to see if there's a cost associated with this.
Mm.
It doesn't really say, but I can't wait. I think this looks amazing.
So, it does say 6 degrees of freedom. So is this something that you put on your head?
No, well, not according to that, because a lot of this is in prototype. I don't think so. I think you just put the phone on the Nerf gun,
Okay.
and you look through the phone's camera,
Oh, right.
so the
right,
screen's
right,
always
right.
on.
Right.
Yeah, and you blast away. I think this is great.
Yeah, and you can be wearing one of those e-skin shirts, and then
Yeah,
you
there
can,
you
you can
go.
feel the haptic feedback when you get shot.
And then I'm quite sure someone sold shoes as well, just to complete the look.
Yes, yes. All right. That's quite a lot. But I
Yeah,
have
it is a
some
lot.
things too, Kelvin.
Take it away.
Take it away. Okay, what do I have? So just on the back of that, my sort of big thing, and it's fairly simple, and it's not new as well. It's been around for a bit, but it's to do with wireless charging. So speaking of the problem of charging everything, recently Apple announced that they're gonna go wireless charging with the Qi technology. Qi, spelled QI. And there's been a few things. Apparently, it was everywhere. Like The Verge covered this. And the thing about wireless charging these days, it's like a single standard now. Like, because Apple announced that they're going to go with Qi, every single manufacturer has gone to that. And that works because I think it works for most Android phones that have wireless charging as well. So I think in the last couple of years, companies like IKEA and other furniture makers have put in these pads on the furniture itself, which is, I think, great. I haven't come across anything like in my friends' places just yet, just probably because they don't have wireless phone charging. Also Starbucks and airports and things like that. What we're seeing this year is like mouse pads, because like I realized the other day, like the place where I put my phone when I'm at work, like where do you put it? On the mouse
Just
pad?
beside my computer. Yeah, yeah.
Alright. Oh, well, I'll put it on the mouse pad. So, like, I would love to have, just like that, the Razer mouse that's wireless.
Yeah.
I would love to have Qi charging on a mouse pad. Also, Belkin is they do accessories for phones. They do it pretty well, actually. So they're going all in on Qi charging. One they had was like, those holsters that you have in the cars where you put your phones, you can use it as a GPS unit sort of thing.
Yep. Yep.
There's like Qi charging in that sort of stuff. So I think
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah.
And I went to IKEA recently, and they sell the kits where they even come with the drill bit.
Okay.
So if you have any desk, what you do is you drill. I would say it's sort of the size of a hockey puck, and then you put it through, and then it sits nicely on top of that, and then you plug in the USB into the wall, put your phone on it, and there you go, charge away.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be part of our futures very shortly, probably within the next couple of years, I think. And just quickly, Engadget had a fairly big coverage of CES as per normal, and they've done their awards, so I thought maybe we'd cover those quite quickly. Shall we go through those? Let me bring it up.
So the first one is obviously the best accessibility tech, and we've already spoken about it. It's the Xenoma eSkin. So that we've done. I'm not quite sure about this best startup one. It's they gave it to Black Box VR, which is VR and gymming, basically. No. I sweat in my face without even moving when using VR.
Yeah.
I can't imagine working out in VR.
Yeah, so that's an interesting choice for that award. I mean, I don't know, maybe they tried it and it was really good, but I just can't see. Like if you're a gym rat, then you're gonna do the real thing, right? You're not gonna use VR, definitely. Just going back to the eSkin thing, Kelvin.
Yes.
The prize for that was the best accessibility tech. So I think they're kind of insinuating that this is not just for gaming, but like for people that are not as mobile.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
So I think they have sort of higher goals for using this sort of tech, but I guess the easiest way to demo it is like through a game, I suppose.
Yeah.
So let's go through to the L'Oreal UV Sense, which is a little wearable thing that you stick on your thumbnail.
Yeah, this is amazing, isn't it? It looks like it's painted on, but it isn't. It won 2 awards, the best digital health and fitness product, as well as the best wearable. Its primary use is to track UV.
Yeah. And just send that data to your doctor, I suppose.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing when you think about it.
Very simple. It's like low tech, but it's just the application of this tech, right? Best transportation technology, the Toyota e-Pallet. Yes, I wonder if they call it a pallet because there's a big photo of a pizza truck. Actually, another nod to Black Mirror there, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but these are, I suppose, pallets as in like big cargo container pallets. I think that's what they're referring to. And if the future is total autonomous vehicles just doing their own thing, like there's apparently like 1 million applications for something like this. So just imagine the size of a VW van. And you've got screens, like digital screens, sort of covering the outside of it, but whatever's inside could be anything. Could be a mobile kitchen, but basically you're just going around and being driven around by a robot.
Yeah, I think it's the food truck of the future, right?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Best home theater product was the Optima 4K Alexa projector, powered by Amazon. I suppose. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's got Alexa in it, and it's got a good price point. I think that's why it won.
Okay. Also, somewhat related is the best connected home product, which is a Lenovo Smart Display, which is kind of like the Amazon Prime Go. No.
Yeah, one of those ones.
So it's basically like a smart speaker with a screen.
Yeah. It comes in 2 sizes, 8-inch and 10-inch. I watched the Verge video on this.
Okay.
But I still can't really figure it out. It's like a tablet, but it's hooked into the wall. Yeah. And it does all the Google Assistant stuff.
It's a brand new OS as well, which is
bizarre. Oh my god.
Bizarre.
Yeah. So you can't actually download any Android apps or anything. So I've got an old Android tablet that sits by the side of my desk that does everything this does. So I'm totally confused.
Yeah, they've got a pretty funky way to sort of hold the stand at the back. Like I think the way that works is kind of funky. And it looks well designed. Like the speaker is sort of on the side of it. Yeah, why? I mean, you could potentially do this with any tablet that's lying around. Just use all the Google products there. But I think the trend here is that companies like Lenovo will be doing this with the existing ecosystems like Amazon and Google, and well, probably not Apple, but I think that's the trend, and I think sort of this points to that sort of future. Let's just move on. The best phone or mobile device is another Lenovo product, the Mix 630.
Yeah, it's a funny one. So it's a tablet. It's powered by a Snapdragon 835, but it runs Windows 10.
Right, it looks very much like a Surface as well.
Yeah, so it's got 20-hour battery life. It's got you can put a SIM card in it. So yeah, another challenger in the tablet space is always good news.
All right, best unexpected product is a duck.
Yeah, this could make you cry. It's called the My Special Affleck duck. Nothing to do with Batfleck. It's spelled AFLAC.
Yeah. So you want to explain that?
Yeah, it's designed to support children with cancer. It supports features like a porthocath with a RFID to help children familiarize themselves with chemotherapy treatment, and as well as emoji cards, which allow the duck to express the child's emotions for them.
Yeah.
This is unexpectedly sad.
Yeah, kind of heartwarming as well, because it is. If you go to a children's hospital, and I haven't had the misfortune of doing that, or fortune, I'm not sure how to take that, but it is really sad if you see little kids with all these things hanging off them, all these cords and all these things going into them. So this is just a way to make that experience a little bit better for the children. So again, low tech, very low tech, but great application. I love stuff like that.
My faith in humanity is once more back up there.
That's great. Great for the Ducks. Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Best sports tech is a prevention biometrics head impact monitor system. Mouth guard.
That's a mouth guard.
It's a connected mouth guard, everyone.
I don't know if I want to put a battery in my mouth.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't this also too late? I'm guessing what it can do is if I am a NFL player and I get hit in the head, it will send the information to a tablet to the doctor going, he just got hit with 3 Gs of force or something like that, and he shouldn't be still standing. So from that aspect, I can see why.
Yeah, I mean, potentially it could save lives, I guess. And that's just the sad state of, violent sports in general. Because, it is the choices that the doctors make on the field with all the pressures from the coach and what have you. Like, it's got to be a very high pressure job. So, just having that data is going to help. Okay, we did talk about the IBO, but I don't know, like people might laugh about it. I actually want to see it in person. It looks adorable. It's got a bit of it is a callback to the old IBO from the 90s. Yeah. But it's a slightly rounder, slightly more not as robotic.
I'm starting to regret it now, because what if it can sense my hate for it?
It's gonna pee on you.
Oh God, with what? Lithium? There's a couple of cool things as well. For example, like, there's a lot of smart city things happening at CES, and the best vision of the future is this kind of I like it when technology uses existing technology to do stuff. So this is a replacement for a lamppost. It's got more cameras, IoT, Wi-Fi built into it than anything else.
Okay.
So it just takes basic street lighting and gives it a lot more, which I love.
Like CCTV 2.0.
Yeah, it's like Black Mirror.
All right. I thought 1984 passed away, a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but no, this is cool actually. I think is it gonna have free Wi-Fi?
I think it's going to be a Wi-Fi transmitter as well.
Like using Li-Fi technology.
Yeah, I love
awesome. Okay. All right. So I think we might leave it there, Kelvin, because that's more than I can handle for today.
Me too.
But I think I just wanted to cover, what the what your takeout was. Like, did we learn anything about this year's CES? What are your thoughts?
For me, it just highlighted the market. There is a market for everything. I mean, I saw this demo on Tech Thing where it's a water bottle. Yep. It obviously has a battery. It's connected to your fitness sort of sensors. It's got different inserts to make a drink based on how and what you're doing.
All right.
So, for example, if it senses you have low electrolytes, it punches more electrolytes into the next drink you have.
It's crazy. Okay.
So I worry for all these little startups that are coming up and spending so much money in all this sort of tech and it not going anywhere.
Yeah. Well, my big thing is, and you're talking to, I guess, my big point, which is that everything will be connected in the future. Like every single item that you see right now around you will possibly be connected within the next 3-4 years. Yeah. It's crazy to think. How many IP addresses do we have left? Do we have an infinite number? I don't know, but yeah. That's sort of the future that I think CES is painting. Will we get there? Remains to be seen, but I think it feels like it is.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, especially with Google Home and Alexa, which is, by the way, now available in Australia, going for around the $50 mark. It's the start. So I now use my Google Assistant on my phone to switch off and switch on my lights.
Yep.
And that was a really cheap setup as well.
I don't know. Even your mouse pad will be connected. Your deodorant. I don't know. Maybe deodorants will somehow send something and spray you something different every day.
That's what we need. That's what we need.
A smart deodorant.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Coming
links.
Up
Smart links.
Yeah, smart links. Okay, I like it. Business idea. Yeah. Also, in terms of transportation, I think over the next, I'm going to say 24 months, I think that the future of transportation is going to begin to take shape. So what I mean is, this is sort of going back to our predictions episodes maybe, but we got to see the flying drone or the people mover drone. We've got autonomous buses, autonomous delivery trucks. I think that's just going to be part of our lives in the next few years, and we'll actually see that with our own eyes in the next 2 years. Yeah.
For me, the other thing that really stood out was the technology by Synaptics and them being able to put a fingerprint sensor behind the screen. And there was a lot of coverage for it as well. So I'm still thinking that fingerprints are still the thing and that facial recognition might take 1 or 2 more years before it hits mainstream. I know the iPhone 10 has it and it works really, really well, but you're going to need hopefully the Samsung S9 to do the same thing. And then you're going to need the webcams in your laptop to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be quite progressive. So hopefully it jumps. I think there's still a lot that can be done with fingerprints, and let's wait and see.
So what's your prediction with the S9? Do you think they'll have both?
I think they'll have both because they're also bringing back the audio jack apparently.
Oh, they lost it before?
Yeah, because the S8 had the USB-C connectors, and then
too many complaints.
They're bringing it back. I don't understand this. I mean, I have so many Bluetooth headsets now because I'm committed, and now they want to take a step back.
Add more holes.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So we might leave it there, Kelvin. It's been a fun couple of episodes that we've had. Quite long and drawn out, maybe some might say, but we got to talk about a lot of things that's happening in Las Vegas. MWC, the Mobile World Congress, will happen shortly, and also there's the Berlin IFA, which I don't know what that stands for, but it's another tech show that's happening. I think close to March or April. But yeah, this is just to paint a little bit of a flavor for you guys to see what's coming up. What we'll possibly talk about over the next 12 months. So I hope that was good. If people want to get in touch with us, where would they do that, Kelvin?
So they can definitely start with the website. It's thelazycouch.com. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram just by searching for us. We're also on Twitter at thelazycouch. Or just email us at thelazycouchpodcast@gmail.com.
Also, I think you had a favorite CES moment.
I did. I'm going to leave it at the very end. But to give everyone a bit of context, at CES, there is everything, right? From VR to exercise equipment. there was a particular sort of vendor where they had these boards that vibrate that you could stand on. And to sort of show people how they could lose weight by this board vibrating, they had this crazy guy called Dr. Fuji, and he's totally wacky, he's totally out there. So yeah, I'm gonna play that after we say goodbye.
Alright, I've been Jeff. I'm on at Jeff Kim and Jeff out.
I feel like mid moment you forgot your name.
It's a lot of Jeffs. My name is Jeff.
I know. His name is Jeff. My name is Kelvin. You can get me at Twitter at _Kelvin Lee and Kelv out.
Jeff again. You can take that out. You can take that out.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna leave.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna stop recording in 3, 2, 1.
I know we came back. I know lunch. Can we please take a look? Thank you, Dr. Fuji. This means a lot.
You see, just work out. Everyone work. Nice. You see, we did the medium for you. Explode.
Yes.
Nice. This is shock out my fat. You see, shock out. It's real. That's why we keep your motivation, keep your health, keep your sexual body, looks, image change. That's American life. You see.
That's quite the statement.
Yeah, that's quite a technology with health and fitness.
Oh boy. Oh wow. Wow. I'm feeling things I did not think I was gonna feel. I feel so sexy right now. Okay, so after getting the full Dr. Fuji experience, I've got to say the CES, it's looking pretty good.